Hey guys, Refuel with the Shepherd. This is Pastor G. I come today to be able to encourage somebody today. I want you to know that in spite of all that you're facing, in spite of all that you're going through, no matter how bad it may seem, I do understand that in life we're going to face a whole lot of obstacles. In life we're going to face a whole lot of situations. In life there are things that will take place that we may not even understand, that we may not even want to come to the place of accepting and acknowledging the fact that it's there. But I want us to understand this today. I want you to recognize some things in this Refuel. We dealt with the last time that I came to you. We dealt with stop hating, and that was simply believing and simply coming to the place of recognizing that in spite of the fact that we all say we thank God for our haters, some of us are still hating on each other, preachers and pastors and bishops and apostles, denominations alike, of doing these things. And I wanted to encourage the body that we need to get to the place and we really need to show love one for another. The Bible says, by this shall all men know that you are my disciples, if you have love one for another. So here today, this is how strong my love is for you. This is how strong God's love is for you. And the fact that we need to come to the place and stop being in denial. We need to come to the place and stop being angry. We need to come to the place and stop bargaining with God. We need to come to the place and recognize that we're in a stage or a place of depression because of the fact that there are some things that we have faced. There are some hurts that we're going through, some hurts that we're still dealing with, some things that we feel that we're lost, some loss that we have. Some of us have lost a father, like I myself. Some of us have lost a mother. Some of us have lost children. I want us to understand today, there are some women that are facing the loss. There are some grandmothers, there are some grandfathers, there are some sisters and brothers that are going through today. I want us to recognize the stage that we're at, because when we recognize the stage that we're at, and if we're saying that we are the believers of Christ, we are the believers in God, we trust God in all things, and we know that God is able to do all things but fail, and we know that all things work together for our good for them that love the Lord, let us recognize the place that we are right now. So today, this is to encourage the hearts of every believer, non-believer that is out there, those that are atheists or whatever you may consider yourself to be. I want you to stop being at a place that you deny the fact that there's something that is going on, because you have faced the loss of a job, you're facing the loss of a job, you have been through a horrific divorce, going through a divorce, going through a bad breakup, have been in a bad breakup, come out of a bad breakup, in a new relationship, and it seems the same things are happening. You find yourself at a new church and you find yourself in a new ministry, and it just seems like the same things are going on again, but you want to deny the fact that it's there. Come out of the place of denial. Get to the place of the final stage, and here it is. We all grieve. We all have different forms of grief. We all grieve in a different manner, but the 5 stages of the grief are the same. I want us to get to the place today, and these are some things that even myself had to come to and recognize. We got to get to the place to accept the fact that we are denying some things, that we don't want to recognize the things. We don't want to put ourselves in position to know that we're there, that we're at that place, because we don't want nobody to think that we've lost our mind. We don't want to go to the doctor and feel that we have to take medication to stabilize our mentality or our emotions. You can bring these things to stabilization yourself. The Word of God tells us, Paul told the church at Corinth in his 2nd letter recorded, his 3rd letter written to the church, to encourage them, to build them, because they asked him some of the same things that we're facing now in this day and hour. He said, how can we? What can we do? Why is it that we're going through this? He said, listen, when you can bring and understand how to get yourself to the position where you no longer allow things to bring themselves to the place where they are rising above the knowledge of God, then guess what? God promised that if you bring these things into subjection and bring these things into captivity, he will give you the strength to be able to bring them into peace. Paul said to the church at Philippi, he said, listen, y'all, I want you to understand. Listen, y'all, I want you to get to the place that when you find yourself thinking crazy, thinking out of the box, thinking weird, and not sure of how to make it, he said, listen, this is what you do. I need you to think on these things. Think on that which is holy. Think on that which is pure. Think on that which is lovely. Think on that which is of good purpose. He said, listen, there are other things that you can think on that you don't have to worry about how and what it is and where it is and how you're going to make it. So I want to encourage you today. Stop bargaining. Stop going through the what ifs. Stop trying to figure out, if I get this done, what if I do it this way? How about I try it this way? What if you come back in this manner? What if I do this? Well, if God have brought you out of it, allow yourself to come out, because there was a reason why he brought you out of the thing that you was in. There was a reason why he brought you out of the church or the ministry that you were in. Either you had outgrown it, or it had outgrown you, or you were not getting the thing that God wanted you to get, or you was not getting to a place to where you can operate in the ministry that God had called you in, to operate in the calling that God gave and exercise the gift that God had given you. So stop grieving over this thing and get up. Allow it to be dead. Give it no more life. Bring it back up, not again. Breathe not into it anymore, and allow it to stay as it is, because all things do work together for your good. He promised that he would be the counselor for you, that when the pastor couldn't understand, when mama couldn't understand, when daddy couldn't understand, when your friends couldn't understand, when your children didn't understand, and when you was by yourself in your lonely hour and there was nobody to say a word, God promised that he would be there. He would never leave nor forsake you. So in this refuel today, I want to encourage you today, whatever place you are and whatever thing that you think you've lost and wherever place you think you are, because you've had some disturbing news on your job. You've had them come at you all kind of ways. You had them say all kind of things about you. You have all manner of evil coming up against you. He said, don't worry about the weapon. The weapon will form, but it shall not prosper. Even the word that will be spoken against you, he promised that in judgment, it will be dealt with. So guess what? Here's the day of judgment. Here's the day that it come against. Here's the day that you are more than a conqueror. Here's the day that you should get up. Here's the day that you arise. So where you are right now, God is reaching his hand down to give you his hand so he can pick you up. Allow him to give strength to your ankle bones. Allow him to give strength to your emotions. Stop allowing your emotions, stop allowing your feelings to control where you are and what you're doing. Stop allowing them to override the fact that God has lifted, elevated, and blessed you. Stop allowing them to have the majority of the control, and you take back control of your life. How can I do that, preacher? How can I do that, pastor? He said, casting down every imagination that exalted itself above the knowledge of God. How can I do that? Well, first of all, you got to begin to speak those things as though they are, even though they're not. You know you're strong. You know that you're there. Get yourself up. Think about where you are. Think about what it is. Think about the seeds that have been planted. Think about the fact, here it is. And I'm glad that you recognize that I wiped my face. God will get some sweat out you, and he will soften the clay up, because he's ready to mold and make you and shape you into what he really created you into being. So now, while you're sweating, while you're crying, allow it to water the seeds that have been planted in your life from the things that have happened. Look in your hand. Check the seeds out that you got. Recognize what kind of seeds you got, large or small. Recognize what they are, the different forms that they are, so you know what kind of harvest you're going to get back from the seeds that you planted, so you know what type of fruit that you will get in return. So here it is today. What have you sown into yourself that you know that God promised that you sowed in tears, but you shall reap in joy? So here it is today. Here is your midnight now. Allow God to dry your tears. And while he's drying your tears, allow yourself to get up, to live up, to stand up, to move up, to grow up, and begin to live. Memories will never die. You will always have them, no matter what it is, no matter what you've been through. But don't allow the memories to control where you are and what you're doing, because God have given you purpose and God have given you destiny. How about it's time that you live in your purpose and destiny? Here's the season. That's why there are quarters throughout the year. There are 4 quarters throughout the year. And in those 4 quarters throughout the year, there are seasons that come. There are 4 seasons a year. Recognize the season that you're in. And in this season that you're in, God have brought you to a place so that you can come out of what you're in, because each season brings about the dying away of things that cannot go into the new season, because there's new growth that has to come. So some things have to be gone. Some things have to be removed. Some things will no longer be able to exist in order for the new things that God has for you to come in your life. So God bless you. God keep you today. Recognize where you are. Understand where you are. Stop bargaining. Stop denying. Stop getting to a place to where you allow your anger to override you. Jesus said, be ye angry, but sin not. So that simply means that while you're angry, you still have control over your cognitive mind, over the thoughts that you have, over your psyche. So you can bring yourself in control and not allow your emotions to override it. And you said, I was angry and that's why I did it. No, you can control what it is that you're thinking and what it is that come out of your mouth. Because once it produces out of your mouth, it's a seed, and it will find the ground, and you will reap a harvest of it. But if you don't want to reap the wrong harvest, be careful of what you say. Ask God to guard your mind. Ask him to guard your thoughts. And ask him to guard your lips. And in that, you'll find yourself speaking life. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. So if you're in a place of depression, of denial, if you're in a place of bargaining, if you're in a place of anger, recognize where you are. At that point, begin to get up. Begin to stand up. And begin to live. God wants to heal you today. He's giving you the word of healing. Now accept the word of healing, so that he can remove all of the hurt and he can replenish you with all of the good. So God bless you. God keep you today is our prayer. This has been Refuel with the Shepherd, and I'm Pastor G.